Nestled on the banks of the Choptank River, Denton, Maryland boasts a history as rich and vibrant as its surrounding waters. From its humble beginning as a bustling trade center to its enduring spirit through trials of the Civil War, Denton's story unfolds through landmarks, community resilience, and a deep connection to its agricultural roots. Initially established in 1781, this thriving little agricultural village, originally known as Pig Point, would soon grow into a prosperous trading town. Due to its strategic positioning along the Choptank River, Denton would quickly grow into a crucial regional market center for Maryland's Eastern Shore and surrounding Eastern Shore territories from the 1800s to the mid-1930s. During the Civil War, this town was caught in the crossfire of conflict between the Union and Denton's Confederate sympathizers, and in 1863 the Union targeted the business district, setting most of the properties on fire and destroying it. Despite this massive loss, the residents of Denton persevered and rebuilt another thriving business district from the ashes. The enduring spirit of the residents of Denton have allowed this town to continue its legacy into present-day Maryland, showcasing a wealth of historical significance around every corner, in every store, and on every street that continues to stand the test of time over 200 years later. Our investigation here focuses on a restaurant located in the heart of Market Street known as Caroline's in Denton. This beautiful three-story Victorian manor was initially constructed in 1905 and was owned by Dr. Earl Paul Knotts, a general practitioner from Baltimore who moved to the area to practice medicine on the Eastern Shore. Dr. Knotts was a member of the Governor's Commission, which formulated a plan to abolish almshouses in Maryland and establish hospitals for the chronically ill. He also served on the Maryland Board of Medical Examiners for many years before retiring just shy of a decade of his passing in 1962. Dr. Knotts was known to be a very generous doctor who would often treat people for various illnesses they couldn't afford in exchange for fresh food, manual labor, moonshine, and other goods. Outside of this information, we don't know much about this property. The owner, Nancy, is skeptical of the energies present within the business, and had mentioned to us she personally hasn't experienced anything out of the ordinary in her day-to-day working here. However, previous tenants of the second and third floor apartments she rents out have said otherwise, claiming that there is a presence in the upstairs apartments that like to make themselves known. This investigation felt very similar to the farmhouse on the Eastern Shore. We didn't have much to go off of with the information publicly available, and even less information from lack of first-hand accounts. We were essentially going into this one blind, hoping to find something to validate the claims previous tenants have made. While it's important to go into every investigation with no expectations, whatever expectations we may have had were incredibly low for this one. The things we captured turned out to be far better than we could have anticipated, uncovering a piece of history this town often tries to forget about, for good reason. Throughout this investigation, we will discuss the surrounding area and key locations that play a crucial role in the story about to unfold, including information on an event that occurred in this town that, still to this day, is one of the most shocking forms of vigilantism ever seen in our country's history. While this investigation focuses on Caroline specifically, the information uncovered encompasses much of the town around it, giving way to the possibility of returning to the area to dig further into its haunted history. Everyone, thanks for having us here tonight. I'd like to start off by introducing ourselves. My name is Mike.
I'm David.
We had chatted with you a little bit earlier prior to getting the cameras rolling, but I would just like to reiterate to you that none of this equipment is here to hurt you, and we're not here to hurt you either. We're just here to talk.
All these are just means of letting us talk to you a little bit better, a little bit easier. A little bit easier. A little bit easier.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What was that?
The first one was the second one was the compressor, but there's something right before it.
Not the clicks, though.
I heard a click before the compressor kicked on, and another one after it.
You didn't hear the
Uh-uh.
Whoa. I hope the mics picked that up. It was super loud.
I've been hearing that a lot tonight already.
Yeah. You guys seem like you have a lot to say. I'm assuming that there are more than one of you here. Is that correct? Could you touch any one of these lights to signal that there are more than one of you?
Boom.
K2 went off and I heard it's only 2 footsteps.
That's just it. I was getting ready to say
Well,
something.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was getting ready to say
Well,
something.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was getting ready to say
Well,
something.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
How many people are here tonight? Are there more than 5? Can you touch one of these lights? It's a way to say yes.
Just hit.
Did it?
Went out the yellow. Might have even been orange, but it hit really hard. Well, thank you.
Just a little way. Yeah, thank you.
So that was more than 5, you said?
More than 5. Are there more than 10? Is there less than 10? Well, more than 5. I'm assuming less than 10.
Yeah. Are some of the spirits that still here? Did they used to live here?
I don't know if that's...
That sound.
What was that?
It sounded like that to me.
I don't know if that's...
That sound.
What was that?
It sounded like that to me.
That sounded like a cough to me. There it is again, in the same spot too. It's just either beyond that wall right there or on this side of that wall.
You remember, as soon as we walked in through this threshold is when we started feeling it. Yours was actually right before the threshold.
It was right.
Mine was right when I walked in.
Yeah, I was standing right there, and then as it hit me, it hit you standing in here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's, yep.
Yeah.
Just caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Whoever's making this light go off, do you know the doctor that used to live here?
Is he still here? I can imagine if he lived here and had his practice next door, he really liked this place, so it wouldn't surprise me if he was still here. If you are here, sir, could you come forward and come talk to us for a little bit? You could let us know that you're here by touching any one of these lights.
Whoever we're speaking to, or whoever's been touching this light, what was that?
That was upstairs. Dude, that was so loud.
I'm trying to think of what that sounded like.
It almost sounded like a knob being turned
That's what,
and like let go.
That's exactly what I thought it was. I'm wondering if that was the door. That remember I saw that shadow come at me
Yeah.
at the top of that stairwell. I hit that door. Whoever we're speaking to, or whoever's been touching this light. Whoever we're speaking to, or whoever's been touching this light.
When we go up, all the doors upstairs are shut right now.
Everything's shut.
Okay, so if anything's open. Was that you upstairs? Are you opening up the doors? Did you open up the cabinet by the bar? Are you able to physically move things around here? Because if so, that's pretty impressive. I know that takes a lot of effort to do, and we don't really encounter that very often. If at any point you want to move stuff around, show us that you're capable of doing it, we'd really appreciate it. We're not afraid, and again, we're not here to hurt you. Anything you want to show us that you're capable of doing, please feel free to.
We've been hearing a woman upstairs. Is she around? Can she come forward? Maybe play with one of the balls in the cup? I think I just saw someone. What door frames? Oh no, I guess the reflection would be if you're there, it's on that wall. Right in between that piece of artwork and that window. It looked like I just saw someone walk by.
Oh. Whoa, what the? Whoa. Can you do that again if that was you, please? That was really cool.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Here, in fact, just so we can really see that light cut on and off, I'm gonna turn this bigger light off for just a minute, okay? Could you please do that again? That was so cool. We'd really appreciate it.
Just hear something?
Yeah, it sounded like a whistle or
Yeah.
something. It's high pitched. That was crazy. I've never seen our lights do that. We bring an array of equipment with us that usually give the spirits plenty of options to interact with us. But despite having all of this various equipment laid out all throughout the room, whoever was there decided they wanted to talk to us through our camera lights. Up until this point, we've never had interactions like this with our camera equipment. It's just a basic RGB light that we use to fill the scene, and I've never seen it do this before. It was really exciting to see that light just randomly start flashing in the middle of the investigation.
Yeah, and it's got plenty of, like I said, we just got plenty of battery. We just checked it.
Maybe it's kind of a benefit to have that loose switch then, if they can manipulate it like the mag light.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, no way, dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's so cool. I love it.
That's really neat. I got two of them like that.
Good. Well, now we have a use for them. We know whoever's here knows how to do it. That was cool.
So just so you know, you can use any of the lights, including that one now, if you would like, as a means of saying yes to any of the questions we have. You could blink for a number that you want to tell us, or
if you know how to do Morse code too, we could try to decipher a message if you can make it flash and spell out something.
Yep.
That was so freaking cool, man. So I guess you're slowly figuring out which ones you like and dislike. Are there any devices on the tables that you do like?
It was almost like they were playing with them before we turned on like any of the other devices.
Yeah.
And then so they're like, oh, I like this one better.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, K2 meter seems to be a pretty commonly accepted item on that side. They're like, oh, I know how this works.
It's easy. Don't have to
For this one, if you get close to the antenna, it makes different noises and it lights up different colors too. And that won't hurt you in any way.
Makes a little sound, but that's about it. There's another one on that table as well.
Mm-hmm. But again, you pick whatever one you like. You don't have to use anything you don't want to use. Some are just easier to spot and recognize than others. Unless we stare at that K2 meter the whole time, we're going to miss a lot of that. So
The ones with the sound really help.
Mm-hmm. Same with the cat toys. It's hard to miss that.
As well as all the equipment that we have on the table. Yes, it's got all these different lights. You know, if you don't feel comfortable getting that close, you can go up to one of the cameras and there's microphones that you can just go in and speak into. And, going back later, we'll be able to hear your voice. Pressure change.
So if you come in here, if you come into this dining room and walk in front of this device, it'll play some music. Not everyone likes music. Give it a shot, it's really cool. You don't even have to use energy to make it go off. You could just walk in front of it or put your hand out in front of it and it'll go off.
Is there any residual energies coming from the church next door?
That was right there.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. I was just about to ask you the same thing. It was long.
Yeah.
That's gotta be like an animal outside or something. That's gotta be something outside. Let's go check. Let's check. Because that's way too consistent and loud. That's gotta be like some little yapper dog or something.
Okay. Wow. Steve thing. I was like, dude, what is that sound?
Yeah, it was a little dog. Once the responses in the dining room started to slow down a little bit, we head down to the basement to see what kind of interaction we could get down there. Even though we were told that a lot of the interactions seemed to stem from the second and third floor apartments, we still want to cover as much ground as possible. I mean, we don't know what's here, and apparently the owners don't know what's here either. So who knows what could be in the basement. I have to resync.
Okay.
Oh, 2, 3, 4,
4,
5, 6.
7.
Is it more than 6? Oh. Well, now that you know how that light works, I saw you flash it 2 times just now, so let's try this. Flash it once for yes, and twice for no. If you understand me right now and you can understand what I'm saying, can you flash it 1 time, please? Might take him a minute.
Yeah. We're really impressed that you figured that out. It's really cool. We haven't communicated with that before.
Yeah, it's a first. Nobody was. Oh, that was 1.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So you understand what I'm saying right now. Wow. This one's going off back here. That one's going off. The light is flashing. They really like the K2 meters and the lights.
Yeah.
Now, have you noticed, even though they've been playing with that one all night, my lights aren't doing anything?
Yeah.
You remember at the farmhouse?
They were going up. Yeah, they kept going up.
Yeah, they were like turning them on or dimming them, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, it was dimming
right?
them. Yeah.
That hasn't happened once tonight. Man, you really like that light, huh? Do you like that color? Can you see colors? You can.
That's so cool.
I guess whoever we're talking to right now, I'm sorry we didn't catch your name yet. Do you see things the way that we see them currently? Does it look exactly the way that we see it right now? I'm going to take that as a no.
Yeah, I think that was 2.
What's different on that side? What looks different? Obviously things aren't physical. You can just kind of go through things as you please, but does it look like this basement down here, or all these racks and utensils and bottles? Do you see all this? Maybe it's the same layout, but maybe there's something different about the space down here for you. I'm just curious. I don't know what it looks like on that side. I want to try to gain some insight from your perspective.
Maybe it looks like when you used to live here or work here or however you're connected with this property.
Wow. Neat.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Are you comfortable here? Are you at peace?
So it's yes.
There's only one. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. That's good. We're really glad to hear that.
Really nice to hear.
It means a lot that you would trust us enough to come out and talk to us tonight.
Absolutely.
This is our first time here. We've never met you. You don't know us, so really, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed our company so far.
Can you light that up if you have?
Wow. Awesome. Look,
Really
it's
cool.
it's flashing now too.
Nice.
Cool.
We're really enjoying yours as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's awesome. I like how that thing's been off the whole time.
Yeah.
And as soon as you asked for it, they're like,
We
got
do
it.
like you.
It seemed like whoever was upstairs decided to join us downstairs as well because the interaction with the lights continued, even in the basement. It was interesting to learn that they can see colors. I mean, I didn't exactly specify where the source of the color would come from. They could very well see colors the same way that we see colors here in the physical world, but it just makes you think, I mean, how much of our physical world intertwines with their ethereal world? How much of our world looks like it does for us as it does for them, and vice versa? Who's to say that the spirits themselves don't come up with theories as to how we exist and why? It was cool to gain some insight from whoever was down there regarding what the location looked like to them. I would have never considered the space to look any different for them as it does for us, but according to the person down there, the basement looked like it did when they were alive. Who knows how long ago that could have been? Right as we're packing up to head upstairs, the Ovulus spits out a word that I wasn't familiar with, so I looked it up, and the word meant an unfair court trial, or an unfair trial. Now we had something to work with. It wasn't just taking stabs at the dark to see who was there or why they were there. Somebody here had faced injustice, and we were very curious to learn more about this. So we were just getting ready to walk upstairs, and the Ovulus said, remove, recuse, and maybe. And we didn't know what recuse meant, so we looked it up real quick, and it's basically a lack of impartiality, or a judge that is unable to perform legal duties because there is no fair trial or fair juror, right? Is that right? Did I get that right? Can you flash that? Okay. So by you saying what you said on the Ovulus, are you telling us that something happened here at some point with a legal case or a legal dispute, and you dealt with some form of recuse, or you want to remove the judgment and move on from it? Okay.
We are like a block and a half from the courthouse, like the original.
Oh,
courthouse
really?
too. Like
Really?
less than 2 blocks from the original courthouse in Denton.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that makes more sense now. So I'm just going to go out on a limb here, if you don't mind. Was there like a mistrial? Did something happen? Did you face some legal dispute that was incredibly unfair? Wow, okay. So you don't even really live here. You're a resident of Denton. And you knew that we were here tonight, or you found out that we were here, and you figured you would come over and tell your story. Look at that.
Yeah, just go.
It hasn't done that yet tonight.
Nope.
And part of your story involves recuse. So are you looking to, I don't know, seek justice for that case? Are you looking for some kind of resolution to move on from it? Is that why you're still here? You just haven't really let it go? Does it still upset you? And you want to remove it. That's why you said remove, recuse. Yeah. Well, I hope you follow us upstairs to talk more about this, because we were in the middle of packing up. We didn't expect you to say what you said, and then you started making those K2 meters and lights go nuts. So I guess we're on to something, but it is a little chilly down here, so we're going to move up.
Yeah,
But
please feel free to join us.
yeah, please come up and tell us about this. We want to learn. We want to know what happened to you. Once we head upstairs, we start a spirit box session in the kitchen, and so much comes through. I mean, there were so many statements in this spirit box session. It was hard to cut out a lot of it. I know that the spirit box can be kind of tedious for people to listen to, especially if it's longer than like 2 to 3 minutes, but man, there was just so much happening in this session. It was very hard trying to cut any of it out.
So we're getting ready to turn on a device that is, it's going to get a little loud, but it's really cool because it can give you a voice. All you have to do is just get near and, just talk, and hopefully we'll be able to hear you.
We're already starting to figure it out. Yep, you can pick different stations and use the static to say words. Hopefully we'll be able to understand you. Let me go ahead and get this going for you. I'm hearing stuff. I'm talking. I think I have it like the perfect setting. Well, would you like to start by telling us your name? I swear I keep hearing like Gerald or Harold.
I thought I heard Harold right there.
If your name is Harold, can you make this light blink again? Marvin? My name's Marvin. Those are a lot of names. I was just about to say, or you can touch this. Here, I'm gonna do it. Do you have your phone on you?
Yep.
Can I put it in this room?
Yeah.
Just in case. It's a really small space.
Yeah, of course.
Tell me not to run. Like I said, don't run. I don't know, just spitballing. But are you the one that's making this light up? Could you make it spike again all the way up to red like you just did if that was you? Sometimes equipment can interfere with those devices, and we're not sure if it's our equipment doing that or if you're the one doing it. We just want to confirm. So far, I've heard the names Marvin and Harold or Gerald. If that's right, can you make one of these lights go off?
That's me.
I said that, or I'm saying. You're doing a really good job.
It's normally really hard to hear, and it's still a little hard to do.
If we hear something and we get it correct, can you please make one of these lights go off? As long as it yes. So, is your name Harold? Or is one of the people that we're speaking to here currently named Harold? If so, can you make this light go off, please? There we go, baby. Let's go, baby. Thank you, Harold.
We really appreciate that.
Is there... Wow. What'd you hear?
I'm trying to figure out what that said, but it sounds weird.
Is there a Marvin here too? Alright. right, so we are hearing the correct names. That's good. Well, Harold, Marvin, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Just in case you weren't downstairs with us, my name's David.
I'm Mike.
It's really nice meeting you. Did you used to live up here?
I live here. Is this the first time that you've actually communicated with somebody like this? Every night?
Yeah, that's fun.
Huh. Did you used to talk to the other tenants that lived here? I did talk. Wow, dude. This is...
Do you enjoy talking with us? Oh yeah.
Did you just say horrible? It sounds like it's horrible. Yeah, like, really?
You've enjoyed it so far, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what...
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Did you say horrible? Well, damn. All right. Well, hey, can't win them all, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us nonetheless. Forgive me if I'm bringing up like a touchy subject, but... Did you lose your life as a result of that trial? Is there an error in judgment? Yeah. So they said yeah. That said yeah. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Sad news.
I don't know. Is Marvin or Harold one of those people?
Definitely. How about it's a Harold?
That would be crazy, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Is it Marvin? You can make this turn back on for yes. No. So it's Harold. Harold, are you the one that faced that mistrial?
Yeah.
Is his name Harold Marvin Harold, or two separate people? That's something we definitely want to look into.
Yeah, definitely.
Throughout this investigation, my name was mentioned several times. Even in the beginning, we were catching EVPs of my name, and then later on during the spirit box session, we were catching my name as well. After this investigation, we had talked a little bit with Nancy, and it turns out there was a gentleman named Michael who lived in the second floor apartment. He really loved the property. He was endlessly infatuated with the place, and I believe he had hopes of buying the property from Nancy one day. Unfortunately, he did contract an illness. I'm not sure what exactly, but he ended up passing away in the hospital nearby. It wouldn't surprise me if he was coming through. I mean, if he loved this place as much as Nancy says he did, I could see him wanting to stay here and wanting to interact with the people there. I'm not sure how old Michael was when he passed, but he seemed to have a very strong presence within the building. Harold and Marvin were two names that seemed to come through a lot. They definitely had a lot to say, and they wanted to make themselves known very often. It was just so hard to keep up with everything being said on the spirit box. There's so much coming through at once. So many different people have so many different things that they want to say. And it's really hard to just focus on one person, but in review, I noticed that Harold and Marvin were coming through a lot. I thought maybe one of them could have been the victim of the recuse because they were the most prominent voices that were coming through, but neither one of them seemed to hint at the injustice or the unfair court trial when I would bring it up, which led me to believe that it could have been a third person trying to come through and talk about this, and I had a pretty good idea as to who it could be. In the historic annals of Denton, Maryland, the year 1895 stands out as a time of tragedy and injustice for the people of this small riverside town. Marshall E. Price, a 23-year-old local blacksmith in Caroline County, met a grim fate on July 2nd when a lynch mob took matters into their own hands. The catalyst for this grim event was the murder of 13-year-old Sally E. Dean, a shocking crime that had occurred earlier that year. Dean's life was cut short one day as she made her way to school, assaulted by an unknown assailant. Her throat was brutally slashed from ear to ear, and her remains disposed of in a nearby patch of brush close to the school. Investigators didn't have any immediate suspects they could pin the crime on, until Marshall Price decided to offer local authorities assistance in finding the perpetrator. His unusual behavior and remarks about the incident, including leading investigators directly to the murder weapon that he said he, quote, found in a dream, eventually gave authorities more than enough evidence to incriminate him. During the trial, Price confessed to the murder, but implicated Grant Corcoran, a young teacher, for unknown reasons. He would later retract his statements by saying Corcoran had no involvement, and this could later be verified as true since Corcoran was plowing fields that day the murder occurred, and had eyewitnesses to verify. Price had his reservations against Corcoran for unknown reasons, whether it be jealousy or spite, but nonetheless, Corcoran never faced any criminal implications as a result of this. The trial was swift, lasting only one day, and Price was sentenced to hang. However, the swift and tragic turn of events decided to take a different course. Marshall Price's lawyers managed to file an appeal, with the governor granting a stay of execution. This meant that the courts were able to suspend any current judgments against him to allow time for an agreement or a decision to be made, sparing Marshall Price's life. A lynch mob, fueled by the desire to exact revenge for Sally, arrived at the courthouse where Price was being held at around 11 p.m. on July 2nd and demanded the deputy sheriff hand Price over without resistance. Otherwise, he would meet the same fate. Despite crying and pleading with the sheriff to protect him, the law enforcement official offered no resistance to the mob, and Marshall was quickly dragged from his holding cell in the Caroline County Courthouse by 5 masked assailants and hung from a tree just out front of the building. Officially, his demise was attributed to persons unknown, highlighting a disturbing chapter in Caroline County's history marked by injustice and mob violence. This violent form of vigilantism certainly came with a price, as the 5 individuals responsible for the death of Marshall would all meet the same fate and pass away under mysterious circumstances, one by one, just after the lynching of Marshall Price was done over the course of a few years. Even the tree he was hung from out front of the courthouse died. While the responses we unexpectedly captured in the basement could point to any of the victims of lynch mobs in Denton over the course of 100 years, there's evidence later on that suggests we may have been speaking to Marshall Price himself. Now that we had established contact with someone willing to give us some information to work with, it was time to dig further into this supposed injustice the spirit had to face. So Marvin, what happened to you? Or Harold, whichever one that we've been speaking to that told us about the unfair court trial. I'd like to hear from you. Was that Harold?
Had to get out.
Had to get out of what?
I don't know what it said. Stacy?
Is that the woman that we've been hearing?
Reverend?
I know we're next door to a church. It's the Reverend.
You look like one. You're in my place.
I understand.
Hello, Mike.
Hi. I'm not a reverend. I'm just here visiting.
You're here.
I am here. Is there anything you want to tell me that's on your mind?
With David.
I am. You're absolutely right. I'm just here to help. I just want to talk to you and learn about you. I'm curious to hear about what happened with this unfair court trial that you experienced. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What happened? I understand it might be hard to talk about, but it could be the one thing holding you back from freedom.
I keep hearing, it said the sound of it, but I keep hearing gospel music.
Is there some residual energy coming over from the church next door?
Yeah. Liar is what it said.
Who's a liar?
Next.
You want me to move on from the subject? Is that what you're saying?
What's your problem?
I don't have one. Like I said, I'm just here to talk, learn about you, try to help you if I can. Said yes again. At any point, too, you can make the light flash or touch the cat toy. There's a way to say yes. David might mishear you or miss it, so... I hear you making a lot of physical noise over by the front door. Why don't you come in here and sit down and talk to me?
It was him.
Who? What's his name?
He's sitting next to you.
It's nice to meet you. What's your name?
2 of them.
2 of them. Is it
Marvin?
Marvin and Harold?
Nope.
Is it Marvin and someone else? You said there were multiple people here, so... I know not everyone
I told you that.
Yeah, you did. And I know not everyone has come forward yet to speak with us, or maybe we missed them.
There's over 5.
Are most of them residents of the town itself? Maybe they all didn't live here.
Look at the lights.
Do you like them?
It's not like a scream.
I'm looking at all of them right now. I don't see them really doing anything, though. Maybe you could...
Jealous.
You can touch one of them and make them light up or make noise. Marvin, did you live up here? Was this your apartment at one point?
Stacy.
Stacy, did you live up here at one point? Or did you live in this home?
Are you walking up on me? Probably.
Probably.
I felt the vibrations in the floor right at my feet, right there. Yeah.
Damn.
Weird.
Huh. Was that you, Stacy? Were you walking up to tell David something?
Yes.
What did you want to tell him? Said no.
Tony?
Was it Tony that was walking up on David? Do you have something you'd like to tell us? Said bachelor and bisected? Was the man who was living up here a bachelor? Did he live here alone?
Hey.
Hey. Sir, are you still here?
You dream about us
Not that I can recall, no.
every day.
Not that I can recall. I want to talk about some of the...
join you.
Okay. If you're looking for help, you're more than welcome to. We can talk about that later, though. That's okay.
Neller. Whoa. This is so clear.
I want to talk about some...
Everyone likes.
I want to talk about the things that you said on this device here. You said attachment, ruining, confronted,
You.
hatchet, and collecting.
Michael.
Is that what the attachment means? You're going to attach yourself to me and come back?
You did say you're
I want to give
No.
you an idea.
Okay, so you said attachment, ruining, confronted. What is the ruining and confronted related to? Can you try to explain that a little bit more?
Then hold us.
Something holding you
Yes.
here? What? What's holding you here? Is it a person?
Let us out
You're
of
free.
this room.
You're free to go and do whatever you want. And if anybody has told you differently, they're lying to you.
Great.
Said yes.
I'll move then.
Yeah.
She just tapped. I'm feeling a lot of movement around me right now. The judge.
Heavy chills. You're free to move on and go do whatever you want. The light just flashed. It was 1 for yes.
How deep are we connected to?
The light behind him just flashed. That light doesn't do that. You brought up the judge again. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
to happen.
It might help you move on. You might find some peace. You can talk to me about it. I'm not going to judge you.
Okay. We'll move on.
Okay. Good, I'm glad. I hope you find peace. Matter of fact, I know you will find peace. It's not a matter of it being a possibility. I really want you to let go of whatever pain and burden that you're carrying and move on, okay? It's not worth it. It's holding you back.
Billy? We're at 5.
Okay? So one of you is left. Why are the rest of you staying here? Is there something preventing you from leaving, or do you just like being here?
Do you? No. Stacy?
I don't know her personally.
I don't.
No, I don't know her personally. I've never met her before, but she seems eager to talk.
She's wild.
Stacy, are you the one flashing the lights?
I am.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, Stacy, there it is again. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. How old are you, Stacy? It just said pose and sinful.
Over 20.
Okay, so you're an adult.
23.
You're 23. Wow, I was so oddly specific. Stacy,
Yeah.
what happened to you, if you don't mind me asking? Are you comfortable with sharing that with me?
I don't know. Some woman's voice, but it was so low.
Could you try saying that again so David can understand you?
Underneath the walls.
Are you buried where this house was built?
There's things around.
Yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot of history and a lot of energy here.
Never let go of your talent. This is us. I don't know.
You know, I do what I do because of people like you. Energies like you that are
God.
willing to come through and talk and show
Is
us this amazing, amazing interaction.
around. You will know how old we all are if you look hard.
Yep.
Lights off.
And crazy chills
I want it
right
dark.
now. Oh, you want the lights off entirely. Who is this making this request? Wow, that flashed.
Flashing. Is he comfortable?
I'm very comfortable. So is David. We saw the K2 on the couch spike too. We really appreciate you doing all this. I'm getting the meanest chills I've gotten all night.
Congrats.
We're not going to be able to go for much longer. I still haven't had a chance to hear anything about that court case or that judge. And I really would like to know more about that. I mean, I'll do my own due diligence and research and try to see if I can find anything related to the town, but if I can hear it directly from the person who's speaking. Is it Marshall? Were you the one saying that you had an unjust and unfair court trial, and that's why you're upset, maybe? Why you're still here? I don't understand.
Surprise.
Is it Marshall? Are you the one talking about unfair Southwest radio abrupt discern? Is Marshall Price buried southwest of here? That would be crazy. Am I speaking to Marshall? Is that the one that's been talking about the unfair court case?
Don't forget Brooke and Pete.
Brooke and Pete. We got Brooke, Pete, Harold,
Seven.
Marvin, Susan. Now you're saying that there's 7 here, right? Is that what you're saying? That just said yes. Okay, so we got 5 names.
Under 10?
There's 7 of you here, and you gave me 5 names. Who are the other 2?
Believe it.
I believe you fully. I don't have any reason to doubt you. That's why I'm asking you questions, so we can narrow this down and get the answers we're looking for.
We're all one. In time.
It's beautifully said. I agree. Can you tell
Forget
me the
about
last?
the property?
What are you talking about? Here? Well, maybe the other 2 names will be revealed to us in due time, whether it be through the review of the evidence or maybe another trip here if we get the opportunity. This has been amazing. Absolutely incredible. All of you that have come through tonight to talk to us. First trip here, we didn't know anything about this place, and we've got quite a bit of research to do after this, but
I'm glad
thank you.
I could help.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope that we can continue to talk while we're still here. We're not leaving yet, but
It made a difference that I trust you.
good. I'm very glad to hear that, and I hope that it's brought you some peace.
It's helping with upright voices.
I'm not sure what that means, but it's positive, I hope. And I hope that tonight's interaction allows you a chance to move on into the light, into the next step. You don't have to be afraid.
Thank you so much.
You're absolutely welcome. And if there's anything that I can do for the rest of you that are here, that are listening, while I am still here, please reach out and let me know, okay? Thank you for allowing us into your home tonight and trusting us in your space. It's very, very
4 + 3.
rare that we get to interact with an energy like this for the very first time on this level. So it means a lot that you would trust us so
Get out
much.
of this room.
Did you say get out of this room? Do you not want us in here anymore?
This is Parker's room?
Parker, that's another name. That's number 6.
We're lost.
Who is the last name? Can you give me the last name, please?
David's on the couch.
David is on the couch.
And David said that there's 8. There's 8?
You're saying there's 8. Alright, well, we got 6 names, but I think we're going to wrap up for now, okay?
8 and counting me.
So there's 8 of you here.
On the couch. Next to him. Take our picture.
Camera's rolling.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want me to, like, snap an actual photo real quick? I can
Better
try.
hurry.
Okay, alright, here we go. Boom, boom.
I'm gonna
Here,
move soon.
I'm gonna turn the flash on.
I'm telling you.
Alright, I'm doing it. I'm taking the photos.
Snap it.
My light just died behind him.
It's Parker. Beside
Hi,
him.
Parker. It's nice to meet you. Smile for the picture. I just took a bunch. I hope I see you in one of these.
I'm trying.
It's okay.
I see you.
You see me? Can you see this thing I'm holding in my hand? I can take your picture with it.
Try again.
Okay. I'm gonna snap a few more.
Bang, got it.
Really?
I don't know.
You got a good
I
sense.
hope so.
You got a good sense of humor.
I'd like to see.
I'd like to see too. I hope I see you in one of these. Well, I gotta get the cameras off. We're gonna run out of battery soon. Even though I took probably 15 pictures of David while he was sitting in the Estes for Parker, I wasn't able to capture anything that looked substantial that I could share with you. Nonetheless, the interaction between Parker and I was very interesting at the end there. It just seemed so casual. They didn't have a message for me. They didn't have anything in particular that they wanted to say. They just They just wanted their picture taken. Part of me wishes we would have stayed in the session for a little bit longer once Parker came through, because the responses from David and what I was saying was very accurate. Nothing didn't really seem to be of coincidence. And I wish we could have had more time to talk with Parker.
Now, a lot of the equipment we use can often be inadmissible information presented to us by environmental factors, word banks especially. One can formulate a multitude of reasons to justify whatever statements that come through as credible evidence, even when it isn't. But seeing Southwest, Radio, Abrupt, and Discern come through on our Chattergeist prompted me to look into where Marshall Price was buried and the direction of that burial location from Caroline's. Call it coincidence, but it turns out Marshall Price's grave is in fact southwest of Caroline's. Not only that, but Marshall Price's grave faces southwest on the property itself. The only grave in the entire cemetery placed this way as sort of a spiritual punishment against him for the crime committed, believing that by placing his grave facing south instead of north, he would never truly be at rest. The Radio, Abrupt, and Discern could be Marshall saying that he was able to use the radio to help David abruptly discern the sounds he was hearing to allow Marshall to speak. This was an exciting find, but it didn't quite satisfy my curiosity regarding who we were speaking to that night. As I had mentioned before, several people met the fate of lynch mobs in this town, and we could have been speaking to any one of them, as well as anyone who may have simply passed here on various terms and just wanted to communicate.
I'm still not entirely sure about the Marshall Price situation. This is just one of many trips to Denton. We have several other locations that we want to investigate that revolve around the story of Marshall Price. We really weren't expecting to get him to come through. With this new evidence that we found, I mean, there's no reason for us to not go back and at least try and verify it, right? It isn't often you get to go into an investigation totally blind, but regardless, we captured so many interesting things on this investigation. It exceeded any expectation that I would have had for this place. It's important to do at least some research and get some of the history of the place so you can see if past events that other people have experienced correlate with your own. I know a lot of these old towns are rife with history. There's a lot of energy stored in these places, so it doesn't surprise me that there is something here. I would have never expected to have 10 plus spirits come through and talk to us the way they did at Caroline's. Getting to help that spirit move on in real time like that was probably my favorite part of this entire investigation. So much of what I do revolves around helping these spirits move on. Sure, I like to try to create content that is authentic and captivating, but ever since Clarabelle and the Forest Haven situation, I don't know, something has changed with me, and it's no longer about just trying to prove that there's something out there. I know that there is something out there, and I'm sure a lot of you believe that there's something out there as well. But I've had so many experiences validating this for me that I'm no longer trying to prove anything on camera. I know what is real. And for me personally, a lot of this has shifted more towards just trying to help these people move on. I mean, imagine if you were stuck in a place for however long, 10, 20, 50, 100 years, holding on to the weight and the burden of whatever it is that you're holding on to, that you had in life. Wouldn't you want somebody to come along and listen to you, validate your experiences, and help you release some of that burden as well? I don't think that I'll ever go back to just focusing on trying to collect evidence. I think since Clarabelle, my mission with this has been to try and help if I can. Obviously, I want to bring you good content. I want you to enjoy the stuff that you're watching, but I don't want to continue to just go to these places and just gather evidence. If they're asking for help, I mean, almost every video. If you go back and watch the last 10 videos, you'll see, in almost every investigation, somebody somewhere is asking for help. So the fact that David and I were able to help this spirit move on and release some of that energy, it felt good. I felt good leaving that night knowing that we did something to help them. I'm really excited to see what the future holds with this Denton series. I can't wait to learn more about Marshall Price and his story and see who else comes through. This town is 200 plus years old. There's so much history here, so I can imagine that more and more people are going to come through as we cover more ground here.